All right, in the previous video, we spent a lot of time focusing on the vertex form of a parabola, and we introduced the idea of a standard form, but today we're going to be looking more in detail about the standard form of a quadratic. So the standard form of a quadratic, again, this is a new form or an additional form, and this is the form that we put it in, ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, in vertex form, it's quick and easy to be able to find the vertex, and we could find the vertex pretty simply here, but we have to do a little bit of digging. And here's the process. Now, this is really important. So the first, like it says, you might want to star this. This is extremely important. But to find the vertex, the first step is we're going to find the x coordinate. Now, remember from yesterday, we called this the letter h. So the x coordinate, we call that h. And to find that, we take the opposite of b divided by 2a. Now, notice what I just said there. I didn't say negative b. I said the opposite of b. I would highly recommend using that phrase, the opposite of b. So remember, that's the h value. Remember, the y value for the vertex, we call that k. So how do we find that? Well, mathematically, we would write this. We would say that to find k, we would take f of h. What does that mean? Well, that just means we're going to replace x in our equation with what you found for with what you found for h. Okay, so whatever we find for h, we're just going to basically plug that in for x into the equation. So let's look at an example together. So to find the vertex, so the first step, to find h, we're going to do the opposite of b divided by 2a. I highly recommend writing down a formula every time you use it. It's an easy way to remember when to use the different formulas and also memorize them. All right, so remember I said the opposite of b. The reason why I say that is b in this case is a -6. So the opposite of -6 would be a +6. A is 1, so 2 times 1 would be 2. When we simplify that, we get 3. So to find what k is, we're going to put 3 in for x. So x is squared. So I always put this in parentheses. So it would be 3 squared minus 6 times the value for x, which is 3, plus 10. And you can do this on your calculator. You can type it in exactly as you see it and get the answer without having to worry about order of operations. But if you do it in your head, make sure you follow order of operations. So 3 squared is 9. -6 times 3 is -18. So we'd have 9 minus 18 is -9. And then plus 10 is a +1. So there's your vertex. Coordinate 3, 1. All right, so I want you guys to do this one on your own. So I want you to pause the video and find the vertex of this next function, and then hit play when you're ready to check your answer. All right, let's see how you did. So you should have taken the opposite of b, so the opposite of 8, right? Opposite of -8 is 8, divided by 2 times a. Now remember, a is 1. It's not always divided by 2, it's always 2 times whatever a is, so be careful. Both of these examples, a is 1. So if a had been 3, we could take 2 times 3 and get 6. In this case, it's just 1, so it stays 2. And now we simplify this. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So now to find out what k is, we put 4 in for x. And if you do that in your calculator, you should get -11 if you do that correctly. So our coordinate would be 4, -11. That's our coordinate for our vertex. All right, let's use that and some other key features to graph an equation. So again, our first step is to find out what h is for a vertex. So the opposite of -4 is +4 divided by 2 times 1, which is 2. So we get 2 as our h value. To find what k is, we're going to put 2 in for x. So it'll be 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 8. And if you do that mathematically or do it on your calculator, you get 4 as your answer. So our vertex is the coordinate to 4. So remember, the vertex is the coordinate with h and k. Now the axis of symmetry is always x equals whatever h is. Because remember, if we graph our vertex at 2, 4, remember yesterday we did do some graphing, and we said that the vertex or the line of symmetry would always go through that vertex. So that vertex would be going through where x is 2. So an easy way to remember it, it's always x equals whatever h is. Now the y-intercept, this is super simple. So now the y-intercept, when we have it in vertex form, it's a little bit trickier. Remember, the y-intercept is always where x is 0. And if you put 0 in here for x, well, this would be 0, this would be 0. Well, all that would be 0, leaving us with whatever c is. So the y-intercept would be always that value for c. So in this case, it's 8. So it's going to be the coordinate where x is 0, y is 8. So now we can reflect that over the line of symmetry, and then we can sketch our parabola using those 3 points. All right. I want you guys to do the same thing with this last example. I want you to find the vertex like we've been doing. Use that to find the axis of symmetry. Use our c value to find the y-intercept, and then sketch all that information on this graph. So pause the video and hit play when you're ready to check to see if you've done it correctly. All right, so you should have done the work. You should have gotten 3, -10. I'm not going to show the work for that. We've been doing that with 3 other examples already, so you should know how to find the vertex. The axis of symmetry would be the equation then, x equals 3. The y-intercept is our c value, which is -1. So that we'll write that as a coordinate, 0, -1. If I graph those points, 3, -10 would be down here. We would have a axis or line of symmetry. I'm going to include that on my graph. You'll probably be asked to do that on the test, so make sure that you just remember to graph that line of symmetry with the dashed line. And then our y-intercept is at 0, -1, so I can reflect that. That's 3 units away from line of symmetry. So we go 3 units on the other side. Do your best to make that a curved kind of U parabolic shape, and that is your graph. So that's the end of this first part of our notes that we'll focus on today, which is making sure you know how to find the standard form of use the standard form of a quadratic to find the vertex and graph it. And the next part of our video, we're going to learn how to do some application with your graphing calculator. So you want to make sure you have a graphing calculator for that.